Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Den. I'm Daniel. It's always coming to you from an undisclosed location. Today's topic is Drew Brees getting screwed by being left off the NFL's All-Decade team. Earlier this week, the NFL put out this list of its All-Decade team: quarterbacks, wide receivers, linebackers, corners, etc. The glaring omission on this list was Drew Brees being left off the list. There were only two quarterbacks selected, and those two quarterbacks were Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Both Rodgers and Brady are great quarterbacks, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to argue with Tom Brady being on that list. The man has 6 Super Bowl rings, has appeared in 9 Super Bowls, is one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in NFL history, will go down as one of the all-time greats. I'm not arguing that. Aaron Rodgers is also a great quarterback, a future first ballot Hall of Famer, and also has accomplished as well in his own right. But Aaron Rodgers, who many people put on this ridiculous pedestal, is in no way in the same class as Drew Brees, and I'll tell you why. Drew Brees, over the past 10 years, going back to 2010, which is where this criteria for the All-Decade team started, Drew Brees, over the past 10 years, has led the NFL in completion percentage, passing yards, and touchdowns, and most yards per average per season. To back this up, I pulled up some stats just for you guys to see, just to kind of support what I'm saying. Again, the man has the most passing yards over the past decade, the most touchdowns over the past decade. The man has the highest completion percentage over the past decade. He has averaged close to 5,000 yards a season over the past decade, and he had 4 seasons in that decade where he passed for 5,000 yards or more, and Drew Brees went 95-58, had a 95-58 record including the playoffs. Although he went 4-6 in the playoffs, including a first-round exit by the Minnesota Vikings a few months back, and he lost in the NFC Championship to the LA Rams back in 2018. At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. Drew Brees is one of the greatest of all time, and he should be on that list instead of Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees is in so many ways vastly superior to Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Now, I know some people will argue that Aaron Rodgers may have more arm talent, is a little bit more athletic, but at the same time, for Drew Brees at age 41, and even what he's done going back 10 years, to be on this pace that he is, showing no signs of regression, is amazing. The fact that Drew Brees not only put up these numbers over the past decade, but the fact that he did this while being a virtual Iron Man at the same time, not missing as many games, whereas Aaron Rodgers has battled injuries over the past couple of years throughout that decade, and Aaron Rodgers has also lost 3 NFC Championship games, twice to Colin Kaepernick and once to Eli Manning. Sure, Drew Brees has come short in the playoffs as well, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers, who's put on this pedestal and made to be one of the greatest of all time, even better than Brees and others, and is by some deemed as one of the greatest quarterbacks they've ever seen, which in my opinion is a ridiculous notion because Aaron Rodgers is not one of the greatest I've ever seen. He's very good, but he's not one of the greatest I've ever seen. There are arguably quarterbacks who are far more superior than him in terms of athleticism and arm strength, etc. But the fact that Drew Brees not only put up these numbers, but resurrected a Saints team that was dormant and non-existent for years, and Drew Brees turned this perennial losing franchise into a playoff contender and eventual Super Bowl champion, had to speak for itself. Now, I know some of you will say that, well, Aaron Rodgers over the past decade went to more NFC Championship games and also won an MVP, won 2 MVPs. That's true. But at the same time, an argument could be made that there's a bias when it comes to the MVP award because when Aaron Rodgers, one of his 2 MVP awards he won was in 2011, and Drew Brees statistically had better numbers than Aaron Rodgers. But what got used against Drew Brees when he was passed over for the MVP award was a passer rating argument. But Drew Brees has had a higher passer rating over Aaron Rodgers for well over 5 to 10 years, but people overlook that because there's this bias towards Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees, in my opinion, is one of the most disrespected great quarterbacks in NFL history. Drew Brees should have been on that list, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Aaron Rodgers should have been taken off the list because, again, Drew Brees has been a better quarterback in a multitude of ways, not just the numbers, but the fact that Drew Brees is still performing at an elite level, even at an advanced stage of over 40 years old, while being an Iron Man, being durable, minus the 5 games he missed last season due to injury, whereas Aaron Rodgers has battled injuries throughout the decade and has come up small in many playoff appearances. So I want to hear from you guys out there. Do you agree with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady being on the all-decade team, or should Drew Brees have replaced Aaron Rodgers on that list? As always, I value your opinions out there. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. We'll do it next time. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy as we all try to get through this coronavirus. We'll do it next time, and I'm out.